Welcome to Book Talk. Today we're discussing the third and final book in the Ruby Red trilogy, Emerald Green by Kersten Gier. I can't believe this series is already over. It's so addicting. I really think there could have been more books. I really think this book could have been a lot longer. If you're not aware what the series is about, you can go back and watch my Ruby Red book talk where I explain the premise. If you haven't read it yet, I recommend leaving now. This is the final book in the trilogy. I don't want to spoil you. I really enjoyed reading this trilogy though. So if you want something you can fly through and really enjoy it and stay up reading, I would pick these up because they're really fun reads. If you haven't read Emerald Green and Sapphire Blue and Ruby Red, I would head out now so you don't get spoiled, okay? Okay. Bye, non-spoilery people! I was so excited to complete my collection of gorgeous covers. They're so pretty! Look at that. Ooh, they're so pretty! Again, the third book, the little picture in the circle there, too zoomed out to be nice Victorian style silhouette. She wasn't expecting to travel through time or to lose her heart. Look at these ugly covers on the back. Look at those. Not cute. So Emerald Green, like I said, not ready. I'm not ready for this series to be over. I feel like this could have been way longer. Like, we got everything in, but the way Kersten Gier got it in was skipping chunks of the story and being like, oh yeah, that happened. And that's a fun way to do it, but also a shorter way, and I would have liked more time. I would have liked more time. I really enjoyed Emerald Green. These books are just so addicting. I couldn't put it down, and I didn't have time to make this book talk, and I didn't want to finish it last night. And I was like, but I can't not finish it. I couldn't believe it when I only had 20 pages left. We're at the party, that green Cynthia party, and we only have 100 pages left. How do we only have less than 100 pages left? I need more than that to get through this. What? Even! We open up with this whole Gideon confusing. I think we all know that something has to be up with Gideon. That's why he's being so weird and bipolar. And the whole time, the last two books, I'm just trying to, hold out hope that it's kind of a Will Herondale situation where there's some reason that he can't get close to her. And that's exactly what it kind of ends up being. I don't like how Gwen is called Gwenny a lot of the time. It feels like a baby. When Gideon starts using it, I'm just confused. I can't picture this really attractive male being like, Gwenny! And they all start calling her Gwenny. Gwen! Call her Gwen! Cynthia's having a green themed party. And Charlotte thinks she's taken Gideon with her. I'm just a little confused about why Gideon agreed to go with Charlotte. And then after that, I know he's together with Gwen by that point, but he has to talk to Charlotte if he agreed to go with her. I was so confused as to why Charlotte didn't make a big deal about that, because I would have been hurt that he already agreed to go with me. Just why didn't he talk to her first? I love how in the limo, Charlotte's like, who are you going to Cynthia's party with? I haven't decided yet. Either Kermit the Frog or Shrek if he has time. How about you? Gideon said he'd come with me. Well, Gideon's not gonna go with you, Charlotte. I love that Charlotte was singing Paparazzi when they walked in on her karaokeing drunk. I'm your biggest fan, I'll follow you until you love me. You could just hear it. And I won't stop until that boy is mine. And apparently Charlotte has a voice? That was annoying. I just like, Charlotte's good at singing too. Of course she is. God damn it. And then Gwen ends up at headquarters and she talks to Gideon, and Gideon's like, I still want us to be good friends. Good friends! Really? The whole Gwen Gideon thing, I'm happy it all came together halfway through the book. We didn't have to wait all the way to the end for them to make up their differences and kind of get this confusion out of the way. I mean, Gwen had to die for it to happen. Okay, this Gwen dies halfway through the book, and I'm so confused. This is at like 3 in the morning, I was at this part in the book, and I read that she got run through with the sword, and Gideon is crying, and she's floating up above herself, and I'm just... Our main character can't... I'm wondering if she's going to be a ghost for the rest of the book. I did not see this immortality thing coming. Like, this Ruby is immortal thing coming. I noticed that in the book we had a lot of references to her feeling sick and feeling tired, but not looking it, and I guess that was supposed to hint at the immortality thing. Just didn't see it. Dr. White, maybe, is the guy's name, who lies when she pretends she's sick and lets her go home and not do the ball. When he opened her corset and only found a scratch. I'm thinking that maybe Gideon has healing powers. I'm just waiting for Gideon to have some power, and he never has one. That reading mind things never panned out. I'm still confused about why there was so much setup about that. She was just trying to trick us in the first book. It turns out Gwen's just immortal. Okay, I love when she goes home and she's like, I love everyone! I'm so happy to be alive! It's all kind of driven by the fact that Gideon cried and said, I love you, Gwenny, don't die, right before that. Exermius's 2 cents just throughout the whole book was so funny. He would narrate when Gideon and her were together or when he walked into the room, and it was just so fun. Oh my god, when he was narrating about Leslie and the subway comes in and Raph and Gideon walk out, their eyes shone as the 2 princes came up. I loved Exermius in this book. I thought he was fabulous. I loved how he supported her. I loved how when she was upset about being immortal, he was like, don't worry, you'll always have me forever. Then we've got the chest that we take out of the wall. Bernard helps them and such. I always thought from the beginning that Bernard was some immortal being that never died, just because of the way she described how he didn't sleep and he was just always there. And that never, I don't know if he is, we never found out. But I like Bernard. Turns out Lucas was murdered. It was just all about figuring out which guardian was the traitor. And I had my suspicions about Mr. Whitman for a while now. I was either suspecting Whitman or Mr. George, because Mr. George was too nice. He was nice, and he had that mischievous smile at the end, like when they worked things out. I was like, what? What's up with Mr. George? Why are you mischievously smiling? I guess he was just happy for them. I loved the visits with Ruby and Lucas in this book. I loved when Lady Arista came in and she had to hide behind the desk, and then at the last second her arms had to emerge from the desk, and Lady Arista was so confused before she disappeared. So that night at dinner, after she comes back from dying, Caroline tells them that Gollum is at the door. I'm not gonna get Gollum from Gideon, but okay. And of course, while they're making out, Leslie calls and tells her she's coming over when actually she's already over and she's in the hallway with her family headed for her room with a bunch of cake. Oh, it was just a really nice scene. They had like a cake party in their room. So with this chronograph that is in Gwen's house, the circle is practically closed. They only need Gideon and her blood. And they close the circle. And turns out it's not a stone. It's a bunch of salt. Immortal salt. And Gideon just, takes it out, puts it in a little beaker, puts it in his pocket. Oh, I was just appalled at how easy that was. The scene where Gwen almost got raped, or I don't know what was gonna happen when Rakazeki was trying to give her those drugs, but that was scary. Then we saw the Green Widow again. I mean, she was just, it turns out, someone working with Alistair. I wanted to say Alistair Moody, but no, Alistair, the guy with the creepy ghost over his shoulder that wants to kill all time travelers. I was so scared when the ghost actually appeared at the end and said he was gonna haunt Gwen forever, because what can you do about that? He's like, I didn't realize Exermius would be able to eat him. We saw the first time travel scene play out where she watched herself make out with Gideon, which was really fun because I've been waiting for it for so long. I love how open and relaxed Gideon is after having explained this whole ordeal to Gwen. It's just such a relief. I've never read a more frustrating male character in YA than Gideon. That scene when they went back to get the letter that he gave to someone in the past about Lucy and Paul's whereabouts, and they had to go through the subway tunnel. First of all, okay, they're walking on the tracks of the tube and they have 4 minutes before the next train comes? What even? That was so dangerous. I couldn't believe they did that. And then we just skipped to the part where they're inside the room under the tube already. Like, we don't see it happening, we just hear Ruby talk about it briefly. A lot of that happened in here. We had to skip through because we have to fit it all into one book. This book could have been bigger. It's not that much bigger. Look at that. I like big books, and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny when a big book's there and it has lots of stuff, it doesn't leave you in a mourning period. Yeah! Rapping is one of my many talents. And they're in these subway tunnels in the past, running to try to get who knows where. And they run across past Gideon, and immediately I was like, this is where she hit Gideon on the head with a flower pot or with something, and he came back in Sapphire Blue and was all pissed at her because he thought that Gwen did it, when actually older him hit him on the head with a flashlight. I was dying of laughter when she went to go talk to young him and he was like, Gwen? And they just kind of stared at each other, like circling the flashlights. Past Gideon asked her a question and she's like, hold on a minute, let me go talk to older Gideon about how I should respond to that. I don't know why it took them so long to see in the rhymes that it said one man will live forever. It clearly said it a million times before they realized, oh, it's only gonna give the one count immortality. It's not gonna heal everyone. I love Raphael and Leslie. I love that they go as kind of a foursome to the party. She finds out that Lucy and Paul are her parents. I was so emotional when she talked to her mom after that. She was like, you changed everything for the better and you made us so happy and that's why Caroline and Nick exist because of you. Then we have the whole end. She had to go to the count and Gideon was only allowed to be there for 15 minutes. She takes a sip of the wine, and I was just so mad that she took a sip of the wine because I was like, that's clearly poison! Then she wakes up back in present day, she sits up, and he goes to shoot her, and I'm like, let him shoot you! I don't understand why she gave herself away so quickly, because then started the whole thing like, oh yeah, I should just shoot Gideon, yes. And I know he would eventually gotten to that conclusion. I did not think Gideon would take an immortality. I wasn't thinking about that. I thought it, as soon as he got shot, I was like, that must have been what happened. But I was expecting him to be prepared in a more of a wearing a bulletproof vest type of way. Not a, I drank the immortality salt, so now I'm immortal too, and this is Breaking Dawn, and we're gonna be together forever. Immortals? Wasn't expecting that. I'm really happy that it all ended happily and we have their happily ever after. Like, I like that. I enjoyed that. I just wasn't foreseeing that. That's not where I saw this going. I wasn't surprised about Mr. Whitman because the more I thought about it, the more I was like, well, he would have had to get a lot of plastic surgery to look different if he's in the Guardians. And who's the most attractive? Mr. Whitman. So overall, I was really happy with this book. I wish it was longer. I wish it had more details. The last scene is in the past. It's Lucy and Paul again in 1914 or something, and they're preggers, and I guess Gideon and Gwen are coming for dinner. I would have liked to see the dinner. You know, at least give us the dinner in the epilogue there. It would have been really cute and nice, and I would have liked it to end with a big family hug. I thought it was just rather strange, the last sentence we ended on. It was kind of the maid had done something wrong, and Lady Arista, or Lady Tinley, was scolding her, and Lucy was like, I don't think I'll ever get used to this sort of thing, like living with a maid and such. I wish it was more of a family hug. It's so weird that she could have a brother or sister and them have kids and stuff, but they all are old by the time they are even in Gwen's time, you know, dead or old. It's weird. It's like a subway station in your brain. That was a really nice way to put it. Share your thoughts. What was your favorite part? My favorite scene, I think, definitely was Gideon coming to the house, finally coming clean about everything to Gwen. I couldn't believe that scene when Charlotte saw her with the box and was like, I know Krav Maga, you better tell me what's in that box. And then Bernard shows up and Gwen's like, oh, better watch out, she knows Taj Mahal. How do you feel about the end? Do you wish there was more? I'm Christine, I'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye! Hello! I'm Christine! What's up? How you doing? So there are very few things in this world that I feel justified to advise about to other humans. Only